So much for being here at our LCC Board of Trustees regular board meeting. Before I begin, I'd just like to say thank you so much for meeting the athletic mascot, Lance. Give him a hand. Did you get pictures? And also, it being Community College Month, I'm looking back there, and I'm looking at the people in here, and I don't see a lot of those treats gone. So I'm hoping that you are going to take 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 so that we won't have to eat them all. So this is for you to celebrate what you have done to make this college exceptional and amazing. So with that, the meeting is called to order. Ms. Duncan, will you call the roll?
Terry Frazier,
Here.
Noel Garcia,
Here.
Hope Lavelle,
Present.
Angela Matthews.
Here.
Robert Proctor.
Here.
Chatham Taylor.
Present.
LaShonda Thomas. Here.
Thank you. Vice Chair Frazier, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance. And to the republic. One nation. Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you so much. Now we are moving on to a special presentation by a student. So this will be a student presentation. Is the illustrious student here? Okay. Hello.
My name is John Solici. All right, hello again. My name is John Solici. I'm the director at the library, and I'm actually here to introduce Sasha, who is a student here at LCC, also a peer tutor here at LCC. And the reason we asked Sasha to come up here and speak tonight is because Sasha has also used the Lending Laptop program. And so I wanted to have her share a little bit about her experience with the Lending Laptop program. So I'm going to turn it over to Sasha.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet everybody. Yeah, as he said, I am a student here at LCC. The Lending Laptop program has been very useful, and I've used it. My sisters have used it. I've seen many students that have used it. It is a very, very helpful resource. I know especially for students that don't have the ability to buy their own technology. It allows us to have not just the laptops like at school, but also in our homes, especially for students that maybe can't come to school in person and take all their classes online. It makes it so much easier when it comes to software, because a lot of times the software that are needed for a lot of the classes is already installed onto the laptops. So it makes it easier for students that might not be as tech savvy and might not know how to access the software. Yeah, it's a very great resource, and I'm very happy that we have that at LCC. Okay.
Thank you for that, that beautiful report, Sasha, and how the laptop lending program is of value and is of use, and that you are maximizing the use. So thank you so much. We appreciate you being here for that. Thank you. Now, and we also say that you're more than welcome to stay here for the rest of the board meeting, but if you want to dip out and take some of those treats back there, feel free, you are more than welcome. All right, moving on to the approval of the minutes of our March 16th, 2026 regular Board of Trustees meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Trustee Thomas.
Second.
Thank you, Vice Chair Frazier. It has been moved by Trustee Thomas and second by Vice Chair Frazier that the regular Board of Trustees meeting minutes of March 16, 2026 be approved. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan, will you call the roll?
Angela Matthews.
Yes.
Robert Proctor.
Aye.
LaShonda Thomas. Terry Frazier.
Aye.
Hope Lavelle.
Aye.
Noel Garcia.
Aye.
Chatham Taylor.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you so much. Moving on to additions or deletions to the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda for tonight? Hearing and seeing none, we will move on to limited public comment regarding agenda items. Ms. Duncan, is anyone signed up?
Not for limited public comment.
Okay. Patrick, anyone signed up? Seeing none, thank you so much. We are moving on and we are down to the president's report. Dr. Robinson?
Thank you, Chair Matthews. Good evening, trustees.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Community College Month. Thank you so much, Benita, for organizing the treats and recognizing Community College Month. There's also some stuff from marketing and PR out on the table. April's always great. What time to celebrate community colleges. I'm going to keep my oral report brief tonight, this evening, Chair Matthews, because we do have a special presentation from Dr. Jessica Hester from Social Sciences and Humanities about our LCC Archaeology Initiative. Trustees, you'll recall that one of my 3 goals for 2026 is bringing forth some programming presentations from our areas throughout the college. So I know you're excited to hear about what we're doing with archaeology. So on the cover of the written report, I always like to start with the written report. There's a great photo from our Maya Angelou birthday celebration on the inside cover, another great photo from Equal Pay Day. There's also great information on page 28 about Equal Pay Day. On page 9, you'll see a picture of Chair Matthews and Vice Chair Frazier, who attended our 19th LCC Corrections Academy graduation. Always love it when trustees attend our graduations. Page 11, there's a great shot of Trustee Lavelle at West Campus for the Jack and Jill event when you were there for Jack and Jill. And on page 24, some really impressive metrics from our social media engagement when the men's and women's basketball teams went to the championship that really goosed up our social media numbers, and a lot of great information in the written report. So to the first slide, Patrick, I just have a few things. I had the great honor of attending the Fostering Success fundraiser in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services provides scholarship and additional support for college students who are alumni of the foster care program. And at LCC, we have a great program called Fostering Stars. And there were a lot of LCC people in attendance because the keynote address was delivered by our own Michael Fenning, and who is the grants and document processing coordinator here at LCC. He gave a remarkable speech. It was an incredible speech where he shared his own personal journey that started in foster care. And there were so many students receiving support in college, having gone through the foster care system. And I got a chance to tell him how impressive his speech was and how meaningful it was for all the students who were there. There were about a dozen of our colleagues from LCC to hear him give that speech, and it was a very successful fundraiser. On the next slide, Patrick, I like to get to as many LCC music and theater productions as I can. My schedule is really cramped up, and I had to go to a dress rehearsal for the production of George Orwell's 1984, which is one of my favorite novels. I've read it several times, wrote a paper about it in high school. It's an exceptionally difficult but really important work right now, and I just have to congratulate Paige Dunkel and the entire theater department for putting on a really impressive 2-weekend run of George Orwell's 1984. Really exceptional, and there were great write-ups, including an excellent review in the City Pulse. Next slide. I'm very proud to introduce to you, Board of Trustees, 3 Lansing Community College students who were recognized at the Michigan Association of Broadcasting Student Broadcast Awards. Teresa Merritt took first place in current events. Ash Purdue earned 2nd place on a human trafficking PSA, which was sponsored by the Human Trafficking Commission. And Nathan Schwery received honorable mention in current events. They're current DMAC students, and they competed against broadcasting students from across the state. So I believe that Teresa, Ashton, and Nathan are here. Could you stand up and be recognized? We're super proud of you, and I'm really happy that the trustees got to recognize your great achievement. Thanks for representing LCC. Students, would you like to address the board and say something? You're welcome to come to the podium if you have something you'd like to share. Welcome to pass. So, thank you. We're super proud of all three of you. I'm not going to steal the trustees' thunder with the next slide, but we did have an excellent Capitol Day. I imagine we'll hear about that. And as you saw, Lance was here. This is the first Capitol Day where we weren't one of the only colleges that didn't have a mascot with us. And you can see Lance, our star explorer, on the glass floor of the Capitol there, and the trustees all excited to get selfies with the trustees. I think, had 6 or 7 legislative visits. They went really well with both members of the legislature and their staff. Great organization from the MCCA, but I do want to give a shout out to Lane Ingram in my office for working with Katie Witkowski to set up and coordinate all those visits. And also Trisha Rotoff in my office, who was the inaugural mascot handler, will always be Lance's mom. So we thank you so much to the team who and all the trustees who came to Capitol Day. And finally, trustees, Trustee Proctor and I have joked with this over the years. The first year we do not achieve this recognition, I think I'm in hot water, because for 17 years in a row, the GFOA Certificate for Achievement and Excellence in Financial Reporting was awarded to Lansing Community College. As trustees, you know, we put a lot of energy into communicating financial information to the board and the public. I want to give a shout out to Megan Garrett in finance, as well as CFO Don Wilski and the entire team. We're really proud of this recognition. It means a lot to communicate complex financial information with transparency to the people we serve. And so probably a big round of applause for our colleagues in finance on GFOA. We're gunning for year 18 next year, right, Don? Okay.
Mr. President, if I may,
Yes, Chair Matthews, Trustee Proctor.
there are 2 other people who would be in trouble. Not just you, but the CFO and whomever is the chair of the audit committee.
Point taken. Point taken, Trustee Proctor. And then finally, I do want to recognize our newest colleagues. We call this section "A Star is Hired." Are any of our new colleagues here this evening? Would you mind standing up? And if we could, if one at a time, if you could introduce yourselves. Well, first of all, big round of applause for everybody. If you could say your name and your title. It's a special treat for the trustees to get to put a name to a face and meet you. So if we could start here. Oh, thank you, Patrick.
Sure. Just name and why I'm here. I'm Connor Keenan. I'm the new manufacturing engineering technology adjunct instructor. I joined because it sounded like a fun time.
And it is. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Audrey Rodriguez. I'm the scholarship specialist for the foundation. And this is my 5th week on the job. I'm very happy to be here.
Good evening, John Adams, Director of the Job Training Center. And this is my 3rd week, and thank you very much for the warm welcome.
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Masar Thailu. I'm a nursing adjunct faculty. I'm so happy to be here.
Welcome. Welcome. And one more colleague. We'll wait for the microphone, sir, for the Webex.
Good evening, Jeffrey Noshel, Fire Science Coordinator. Happy to be here.
Welcome. We always say what we said to the student: you are welcome to stay and see how governance works at Lansing Community College and be part of the board meeting. But if you did have other things to do and you wanted to exit now, no one would be offended. Welcome to Lansing Community College. And with that, Chair Matthews, I'd like to ask Dr. Sally Welch to introduce our special presentation from Dr. Hester. And Jessica, you can make your way to the podium.
So it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jessica Hester. She's the program department chair for socio. Yeah, I was getting my SSH wrong, but she's going to talk to you about archaeology, very exciting work that's going on with our students.
While Sally's getting the slides to Patrick, I'll just remind the trustees that when I started doing these presentations, I got some feedback from the board that you'd like to see them ahead of time. So there is a cover sheet in the board packet that explains why Dr. Hester is presenting, as well as her slides. So even though Patrick doesn't have them, you do. So maybe that bought you enough time.
Yep. Right.
Good evening, everybody. I'm really excited to talk to you about the LCC Community Archaeology Initiative, which started by us identifying a need. Any kind of ground disturbing project that receives state and/or federal funding, like an infrastructure project, has to have an archaeological review to make sure historic properties are protected. This is the National Historic Preservation Act, Section 106. You want the details? These projects are things like roads, cell phone towers, energy projects, and buildings. And any increase in infrastructure project, as we have had, increases the number of reviews that need to be done. So entry-level jobs in archaeology require successful completion of specific courses, but not necessarily an AA or a BA. Most students complete these courses in the second 2 years of a BA program. And right now, there is a shortage of qualified workers for these jobs, and that's delaying infrastructure project completion. So we created the LCC Community Archaeology Initiative that is in the Social Science and Humanities Department. It includes 2 pathways. Both are stackable to the Anthropology AA, and the hands-on field training course that's required for entry-level field jobs in archaeology. And the field survey course takes place in Lansing. With this, we partner with the State Historic Preservation Office, the USDA's Natural Resource Conservation Service, the Michigan Department of Natural Resources, and also private cultural resource management firms. A lot of our students are still taking courses, or they have transferred to BA programs, but the students that have pursued employment, 100% of them have immediately found jobs earning on average $27 an hour. So we're pretty excited about that. I want to talk to you about some of our projects. First, the USDA Rose Lake Plant Materials Center. So this site has been identified as a transitory hunting location for Michigan's Native American tribes. And the artifacts date the site as active from 800 to 12,500 years ago. Our students surveyed 2 fields. They found stone tools that tell us, first, where indigenous activities were concentrated on the landscape, and also where archaeologists need to expand their investigations. Next, Adado Park, right next door. We received permission to survey from the city of Lansing, but we could not use traditional archaeological digging methods. Students were trained to use geophysical equipment, identifying historic features below ground level. And this is now the most in-demand skill in professional archaeology. Very few undergraduate students get this training. So we're special. Our students identified features believed to be associated with a lumber mill, a rail yard, and a wagon company, which occupied the landscape at different points in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. And finally, an FBI collaboration. So the FBI believed that clandestine graves might be present at a site in the UP. A USDA archaeologist specializing in geophysical data was asked to assist the FBI and happens to be one of our archaeology program partners. 2 LCC students were invited to assist in conducting the geophysical survey, and they worked with members of the FBI, the Michigan State Police, and the City of Detroit Police Department. What is next? Well, archaeology is about studying the material remains of human history, and it's often people and places that fall outside of grand historic narratives. In other words, people who were not privileged. The LCC Community Archaeology Initiative wants to find that history in Lansing. So we plan to identify additional sites for field survey training with a specific focus on historically significant locations and communities that have been lost to urban development. And through this, we will expand our partnerships with the State Historic Preservation Office and the City of Lansing. If you have any questions, I'll take them. If not, feel free to contact me through my email.
Trustee Taylor, then Trustee Lavelle.
Hi, thank you for this presentation. I actually was excited just to hear about archaeology and what they find and all that stuff. And then especially with Adado Riverfront Park, that is such a huge part of our community and our history. So I just wanted to reiterate just a couple of points. So when you said that they transferred to BA programs, and of those students who have pursued employment, 100% have immediately. So now put that in capital letters because that's huge. Immediately started working for $27 per hour. That's huge. And so I just wanted to reiterate that. And then also the fact that they found wagon companies and lumber mills at a time. Like I was just kind of thrown back with
Doing
that.
the geophysical survey, just looking at foundations and other kinds of indications of where things were and comparing that to historic maps of the area.
Nice. And I would just really quick like to know what feedback, I guess, if any, have the students given as far as the program, the hands-on experience, and when it comes to their educational goals and all that kind of stuff? Have you received any feedback about it at all, or?
Yeah, they seem to be very excited when we have students go through to field school. Often the following field school, they'll come back and volunteer and keep working together. We have one of the students who was pictured that helped with the FBI collaboration. He came here directly out of retiring from the Army, had never taken an archaeology class, but was interested, started taking our classes, and is getting ready to transfer to MSU. And over the weekend was elected to be the president of the Michigan Archaeological Society, which is a statewide organization that's a combination of avocational archaeologists and professional archaeologists. So like that just happened and I'm really excited.
Yeah, so am I. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just want to piggyback off of Trustee Thomas. I was also just very impressed with some of the outcomes that you were talking about. So if you could talk about the types of industries and jobs that students get placed into.
So a lot of it is cultural resource management firms, and they are, they can be hired in a number of situations. So sometimes it is working on contract work. If there's a company that wants to build in an area that may be culturally sensitive, they'll hire these companies to come in and survey and make sure they're not disturbing anything. And that can be city projects, state projects, federal projects. And there are quite a few of those in the Michigan area. A lot of times students, not just, a lot of times people working in field technology will work in Michigan and then they might do a project in Ohio. They might do a project in Pennsylvania. So it sort of depends on where things are happening. And the thing that works really well for our students is that they can do this work in the summer while also finishing their degree.
Just, thank you. Well, just one more question. So I think of archaeologists and I think of Indiana Jones and all of that. Now, granted, there aren't as many Indiana Jones movies out as just a few years ago when I was young. But how do you attract students, you know, like archaeology is very specific area. You know, what are you looking like? How do you let, you know, students know about this wonderful program, even though it might not be at the top of their list because they have no clue what archaeology even is?
Right. So a lot of our students start in the anthropology program. So they know they're interested in anthropology, and Intro to Archaeology is one of the courses that they can take, and they get introduced in that way.
Okay.
Sometimes we just have students that say, I heard you do archaeology. I'm interested. So, and there are, it's one of those fields, because we all know it as Indiana Jones, which seems like this very, you know, sort of abstract, what, you know, what kind of work is there? But there is really consistent state and federal jobs in archaeology. These are generally not entry level.
Okay.
But the entry level jobs are often in cultural resource management firms. But you can start there and get really, really good employment in state and federal agencies because they're all working with this National Historic Preservation Act and the federal laws connected to that.
All right. Thank you.
Trustee Thomas, not Taylor. I love to hear of innovative grassroots methods. So to hear about the initiative and to hear the results is just amazing to me. So thank you. And whoever who thought of outside the box. Also, I was wondering, kind of off of Trustee Lavelle, I was thinking, have we ever offered like summer programs for younger students who may be interested or to spike their interest in such a program?
We haven't at this point, but I was just having conversations last week about two potential programs. One would be a summer program for kids, you know, to just dig and sort of see what it's about. And another one for teachers, because using archaeology to do lesson planning in social studies can be really effective. So a program that would be geared towards teachers in the Lansing area, and then another one geared towards kids. We would love to do that.
I love it. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you, Dr. Hester.
just one second. I want to, sometimes we do things so well, so once it's mentioned, we kind of gloss over it and say, yeah, that's something else that LCC has done. But I want to take your attention back to page 24. And in taking your attention back to page 24, it says students work with members of the FBI, Michigan State Police, and the City of Detroit Police Department. These are three major law enforcement agencies, and for our students to have an opportunity to work with them, I think they need a rousing hand instead of the little. I missed.
What was exciting about that, I just have to add, is that one of those students is interested in doing forensic anthropology. So working with those agencies was a really big deal for him.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that is my report and the special presentation, Chair Matthews.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Robinson. Awesome. Now we're down to consent agenda action items. I would ask any of my colleagues, are there action, consent agenda items that you would like, pulled from this area in order for further discussion? Thank you so much. Welcome to LCC. Yeah. Oh, trustee Lavelle.
Yes, if we could pull items, C, the cooperative purchase, and D, the Michigan New Job Training Program.
Okay. Trustees, colleagues, are there any other items on the consent agenda item? Oh, you're fine. Go ahead. You're fine. Okay, so which one? Okay, A1 would be 1.2 officers and duties of officers revised. And then number 2 would be 1.3 board committees revised. Okay. Okay. All right. So from the consent agenda, we are pulling items A, 2, C, and D. So is there a motion to approve consent agenda action items A, board bylaws, number 1, 1.2 officers and duties of officers? Item number B, Board of Trustees employees 1 and 2 expenses for March 2026 and time reporting for April 2026. And I do believe those are the 2. Is there a motion to approve those? Thank you, trustee Thomas. Is there a second? Thank you, trustee Taylor. It has been moved by trustee Thomas and supported or second by trustee Taylor to approve consent agenda action items A, board bylaws 1, 1.2 officers and duties of officers revised, and B, Board of Trustee employees expenses for March 2026 and time reporting for 2026. Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan, call the roll.
Hope Lavelle,
Aye.
LaShonda Thomas, Noel Garcia, Chad Taylor,
Aye.
Terrence Brazier,
Aye.
Angela Matthews.
Yes.
Robert Proctor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve consent agenda item, board bylaws 2, 1.3 board committees revised?
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Lavelle. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, trustee Taylor. It has been moved by trustee Lavelle and second by trustee Taylor to approve board bylaws A2, 1.3 board committees revised. Discussion? Vice Chair Frazier.
Yeah, I am questioning the by the committee. I think it's A.
Page 35.
Yeah, 34, 35. The policy committee. And I'm sorry, I had it written down and got it deleted. It's about the membership of the policy committee. So if someone can help explain why, the first one is, let's see. I'm on A, members of the board appointed by the chair, the board executive liaison, the chief financial officer, senior vice president of business operation, or senior vice president of academic affairs. That one I'm fine with. It's going down to B, the biannual review. Is when the policy committee shall consist of the same policy people, a member of the board appointed by the chair and board of executive liaison. Is that, I just want to get clarification, is that also the senior financial officer be on there or senior vice president? Like who's all on that committee? I guess that's my kind of question. I'm not sure.
Trustee Taylor.
I'll handle that.
Okay. Trustee Proctor, chair of the policy committee.
I am surprised that I wasn't as clear as I thought I would be. We've identified what constitutes historically the policy committee, it's had two trunks of, well, two branches off the same tree. One has to do with what we refer to as college policies. That may be a misnomer because all the policies are approved by the board. So they're in effect board policies, but to distinguish between those that I characterize as affecting the administration and operations of the college, we call them college policies. And they're lined up on the website in that kind of structure. So historically, we have had, before this attempt to codify what we've been doing anyway, has been chair of the committee. I've been serving as chair since someone decided we ought to recognize what I'd been doing for some years anyway, and create a committee that consisted of the trustee, the senior VPs of the college. At some point, the president has participated, but it's been primarily the senior VPs. And on occasion, bringing in subject matter experts to help us when we've delved into areas that we needed better understanding on as a committee. So that's been the policies pertaining to what I'll call the administration of the college. The other component was something that had to do with, other than what I've just said, the bylaws, the governance policy, the relationship between the CEOs and the board of trustees. And we had not formalized a structure like this. That's an attempt to take into consideration what we've been doing informally. And again, I'm using the term codifying it. So in the past, it was a member of the board and the executive assistant who delved into the bylaws and the governance policy. But we could use a little help by adding another member of the board to that. Now, the concern I understand that's emanating from some sources is that you're dealing with the relationship between the president and the board. And the president is affected by what the board may come up with in terms of policy that pertains to the operation of the college by the president, as well as, I think more importantly, what are the standards by which we're going to hold the president accountable? They affect his evaluation, et cetera. And while not a member of the committee, the president certainly is involved as we've involved people in the past. This affects you. We want your input. And that's how I expect this to operate, is that there'll be, again, the subject matter experts that will call in to help us, as well as those who are directly affected by what proposals the committee may propose.
Vice Chair Frazier.
But I guess my concern or my hesitation on that is having someone from the president, not necessarily have to be the president, but from that VP cabinet level, senior VP level, to be part of that committee formally, not a voting member. I don't think they should be a voting member, but definitely being involved with the conversation to build that, continue to build that relationship between what the board is doing, what the administration is trying to do. So there's just more of a connecting piece of transparency between the two groups.
I couldn't have said it better, Dr. Proctor. I just want to, because I get your question, and we look at it as we govern, okay? We're over the president. So we think it's best to kind of, if it's separate, then we can kind of come up with the policy and the bylaw and make sure that it's it's one of those things where you can't really govern yourself, if that makes sense, right? And so we're just treating them separate. That's really all it is. Because it is separate. And like Dr. Proctor said, if needed, then of course, there's that invite, there's that, direct, communication in the meetings, and we've invited others and all that stuff. But I mean, really, these are the board bylaws.
Trustee Thomas, then trustee Proctor.
Time comes that there is a need for the executive or the president or whoever to come in, that would be great. But other than that, I don't see a need for that department to be a part of this because it's regarding the board. So I think it's been operating just swell all this time, and I think it should remain the way it is.
Trustee Proctor.
So regardless of what part of the committee structure we're talking about, every action that takes place in a setting like this. So anybody who has some input they'd like to share with us has an opportunity to do that. There's public comment on agenda items, as well as the discussion that takes place amongst those who sit at this dais. And as I've indicated to the president, I expect to seek the president's input on those things that affect how he does it. And that has taken place because a few years ago, with the development of the end statements, much of the language that we now have in the end statements came from Dr. Robbins. I don't expect that to be any different.
Vice Chair Frazier. Okay.
So I understand what you're saying about the keeping it separated. I guess my concern is the succession plan later on down the line. How are we continue to have something in policy that we're building relationships, that's not a us versus them. I mean, right now we have a wonderful relationship with the administration and everything like that. But once again, Proctor, Trustee Proctor, you've been around long enough that sometimes it's not like that with administration and boards. And how do we continue to have that smooth transition as well as just clear communication and building those relationships? That's the only reason I'm asking for my suggestion or concern about having someone from the administration part of the committee. Once again, not a voting member where they're not able to vote and make up the policies, but an ex officio non-voting member to be part of that board, or at least be someone to be there on a regular basis for our meetings like that, to know what's happening on the ground.
So I gave the example of Dr. Robinson having input. His predecessor had the same input with regard to those matters that directly affected the president or the president and his relationship with the board. Dr. Knight also weighed in on the end statements, which I think are the important things that we as a governing body at the college ought to be focusing on. What is it we're attempting to accomplish, and how are we to go about it? And the input is going to be sought from others, whether they're part of the committee. And if this board chooses to say we want to change the composition of the committee, I'm fine with that. We're only doing by formalizing a process that's been informal for a while. That's all this is about. We've made really no structural changes to what we've been doing for several years.
Oh, thank you.
So in summary, what I think I'm hearing is the three members that are part of the policy committee remains as is. And if there is a question or inquiry as to the president's, anything involving the president, then there will be an invitation that's going to be extended because he's the subject expert on his position, and that the policy committee will extend that. So there's really no reason at this particular time to change the composition of the policy committee. Is that what I'm hearing?
Madam Chair, if I may attempt to amplify on what I just said, if we were dealing with the terms and conditions of the president's employment contract, that's going to be a back and forth between the president and the board. I don't expect that to be any different with respect to other issues not directly involving the terms and conditions of his contract, but they do affect the terms and conditions of his employment. Now, did I make any sense in that as I think about what I just said? Probably not, because they're one and the same. But the point is I don't expect to impose on the president or anyone else that the board has governance over terms and conditions about how they're to relate as an employee of the college without their input.
Are there any further discussions? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan, call the roll.
Chatham Taylor,
Aye.
Noel Garcia, Terrence Frazier,
Nay.
Robert Proctor,
Aye.
Angela Matthews.
Yes.
LaShonda Thomas.
Aye.
Hope Lavelle,
Aye.
motion carried.
Moving on to consent agenda item, cooperative purchase. Is there a motion to approve C1 with aviation hand tool systems?
Madam Chair, I move the approval of the item.
Thank you, trustee Proctor. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice Chair Frazier. It has been moved by trustee Proctor and second by Vice Chair Frazier to approve cooperative purchase C1 aviation hand tool system. Discussion.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair. My question is if someone could kind of give me a feel as it relates to not only this hand tool system, but the other types of tools and equipment that the students use for the aviation program. We have Aviation Day coming up and thought this would be a great opportunity to talk about the program a little bit.
Kathy, if I could, I would either ask, since it's a great question, trustee Lavelle, and what I would give is a framing comment, and then depending if we take a purchasing or a programming answer to your question, we do have the director of the program here. I would just as a framing say, we're coming to you for this because this is one of our flagship programs. Airframe and power plant is an expensive program, and those of you who've been over to that facility, requires a lot of not only great training equipment, but the actual hand tools, which are expensive. So Provost Welch, could we just, if you could introduce, your team to come up and talk about, these will be a great addition to the program, so.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your question. Program Director Tony Kruckenberg will come up and talk about it and the other tools and equipment they use in the aviation program.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. Anthony Kruckenberg talking. So the Board of Trustees, the tool systems that we have, first of all, your aviation program is, I inherited a very good program when I came on board. It was running full steam, and it's still running full steam, but we're making some improvements. It is, when the FAA comes every year, they inspect, they do a full-blown inspection. We are the gem of the state by far. We're one of the top 10 schools in the nation. And that's a testament to our faculty. They are outstanding. It's a privilege to be with them. So the tools, after having advisory committees and talking with advisory boards, I've been in aviation for 30 plus years myself. Been a mechanic, was a test pilot in the military for a long time. Tool accountability, tools can be an asset. They can also be a weapon in our industry. We have to have eyes on all the tools at all times. The current toolboxes that the students have right now typically run around, the box we have is around $900. That box, when the students come in, they pay course fees. At the end, when they graduate, they get that box to go take to their career. The box they currently have, though, as the program is building, is substandard in today's industry. So the tools that they have are not shadow boxed, they're not laser etched, they're not lifetime warranty. In essence, the students will have to buy another box anyway to go into the industry. They wouldn't naturally be taking the one that they're buying through the program with them. In the past, that could have worked. So the toolbox we have found through vendors and advisory boards, I've used it in the military as well as from a company called Sonic Tools. It's like a Snap-on, Mac, something lifetime warranty. The boxes retail for $38.50. But through our college and discussions, it's roughly $1,800 a box. That box is 145-piece tool set, all laser etched, all shadow box. You can do inventories real quick to see if you have all your tools. And this kit can be expanded into multiple layers. So the student could take this kit, get the medium kit, get the advanced kit, and have a full-fledged toolbox for their anywhere in the industry that they work. Any specific questions that I can answer beyond the subject?
And what other, I guess, equipment do they get, outside of the hand tools? Can you talk about the other equipment that they use?
Well, aviation as a whole, we have a lot of equipment. So when the students have their own toolbox, but we have a consolidated tool room that what I try to do is mimic our programs to be like the employer. So when they go to get a job, there's no difference. We have the accountability, the safety, the consolidated tool room. So when we work in aviation, we're not going to have every single tool for the aircraft. We'll have the basic sets. And then when we have that special tool we really need for this model aircraft, we have a consolidated tool room in the industry. So we have that as well. So we will buy tools depending on the aircraft we're working on that are just for our facility. And then the test sets, they're expensive, and anything in aviation is very expensive. We try, though, to be extremely fiscally responsible. It's a near and dear thing. It's my number one pet peeve is if we can buy things at Ace Hardware, we do, because we're not an operational environment. But certain things, when we run up aircraft engines, we have to have the quality parts because it can be dangerous if we run them with substandard parts. So we try to get by with what we can. I don't want to ruin the quality of the program. I want to make it as cost effective, but keep us on edge of being the top 10% of school in the nation. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Trustee Thomas.
Keeping it with quality and keeping everyone safe. That's important. That's important, and I appreciate the aviation program. I was on a plane yesterday and sat next to an aviation mechanic who was so happy to tell me about his 30-year career. So it was nice, and of course, I bragged about our program. I didn't know if we were number one or not, but I made it sound like it was. So I appreciate what you do. I appreciate the work you guys put into it, and I am trying to move students that way. Is there any, like, kind of what we said about archaeology, is there a way to kind of put up hey, I know we don't have the space yet, but hey, over here.
That's a big issue of space. We're already waitlisted for next year. So we filled up in November for August of 26. And we're a cohort system. So when we start with 50 students for that year, we'll graduate those same students in 2 years. We need more space. We need a new hangar. So to put it lightly, we try not to market too much anymore because I just have to tell the kids that, sorry, and I don't know, they're going to hold on for 2 years, but we do have partnerships and good collaboration with schools like Western, Andrews University, some of the private industry or schools that we shuttle kids as well when we're full. So still want them to be in the industry because we're very short-handed. Each one of our students has about 8 job offers when they graduate. So that's the current market for the next 20 years, estimates.
Thank you. Thank you
Trying
so
to,
much.
trying to pitch that new building.
Oh, we hear you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sir, as I understood it, we're required to have certain tools for our students to work with, either by the Federal Aviation Administration or the airlines with whom we have partnerships. So that's the necessity right now for the tools. I thought I'd heard once upon a time that the students got to take the tools with them, but has that always been the case?
Yeah, so the toolboxes we currently have, they'll take them home when they graduate, if they graduate, which we have a great percentile that do. The boxes that I'm proposing to try to get, they're going to take those as well. They're just a better quality box that they can use throughout their career. The boxes they have right now, to be honest, they'll probably end up in the garage, just because they can't inventory them the way they can with a shadow box, laser etched. So a laser etched tool, what that means is the tool has a specific serial number on it. If it's found anywhere in the hangar, we know that it directly goes to that individual, and we can constructively educate that individual to not lose tools anymore in our industry. The shadow box it has its place in the foam. Every tool does. So when you look at it, you see a blank space behind the foam, and sometimes the foam is fluorescent colored. So when the tool is gone, you see a bright green stripe or something. That lets us know that there's a tool missing. It's important because someone could say, I have my tools, and then the aircraft, it takes a screwdriver to bring down an aircraft. So it's imperative. It's like, I tell our students they're surgeons, they're not mechanics. The responsibility on their shoulders is they have 200 some people on their shoulders, every day they go to work. So you got to be on your A game. So I really stress on the tools. So yes, the tools that we buy for the students, these boxes, they'll take them home. The specialty tools will not. So the proposal you have in front of you is per year. It's roughly $100,000, which equates to $39 per class increase of student course fees. But it's a box that they'll be able to use for the lifespan of their career.
Thank you.
Chair Matthews, could I ask Director Kuckenberg a quick question and as a follow-up to Trustee Proctor's? I'm correct in saying, aren't I, Tony, that the boxes that we are currently giving out, the reason they're out of date is that time has gone past, right? They were state of the art at the time we built the aviation center, but technology has increased, and so we got the best available back then, but the field has progressed, and that's why you're doing this. Is that correct?
100%. And we wanted to make it cost effective for the students. We're still trying to do that. I wouldn't be doing this if it was taking advantage of their hard-earned money. So through the industry, they expect lifetime tools. Cadmium plating is a type of plating on the tools, and sometimes it flakes off. So some of the tools we have now, because the industry changes, they don't want that to happen anymore, which wasn't the case before. So there's lots of reasons, and the tool companies have gotten better to where it used to be just Snap-on for the lower standard kits. Now we have a mid-range that's lifetime warranty that we don't have to spend thousands and thousands for Snap-on. We can go with something that's a little bit more cost effective, but still have the same lifetime warranty.
Okay, real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
So there are no tools, so the outdated tools are not, they remain with the student. So there's no recycling of any outdated tool. In my mind, I'm thinking, tools that are turned in and maybe they are molded down or something and used for something else.
When the students start the program, they are given a toolbox, brand new toolbox with tools in it with their name on it. They use that toolbox throughout their 2-year course. They lock it up and not allowed to take it home. And when they graduate, they get the key and they take it home. They take it to their industry. The toolboxes we had have been sufficient. The one they're going to have now is modular. It has wheels, has a handle, shadow box, larger, has more tools in it that they'll need. And it'll be the same process. They'll get a brand new box when they start the program, starting in August, this coming August. And they'll keep that box for 2 years, and they'll get the key and they can take it to their industry with them. Same concept is not going to change. It's going to be the same concept that we've always been doing. We're just upgrading the box and the tools from before. That's essentially the same.
No tools are left behind. Okay.
It better not.
Okay, thank you.
Surgeons ought to have the same practice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan, call the roll.
Robert Proctor.
Aye.
Chatham Taylor.
Aye.
Angela Matthews.
Yes.
Terrence Frazier.
Aye.
Hope Lavelle.
Aye.
Noel Garcia.
Yes.
LaShonda Thomas.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve consent agenda item Michigan New Job Training Program, number 1, LG Energy Solutions, Michigan, Inc.?
Madam Chair, I move to approve that item.
Thank you, trustee Proctor.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Thomas. It has been moved by trustee Proctor and second by trustee Thomas to approve consent agenda item number D, Michigan New Job Training Program, LG Energy Solution, Michigan, Inc. Discussion.
Yes, thank you, Chair Matthews. Would like it if we could discuss the type of training that will be provided to LG Energy Solutions Michigan and just how that's structured. And thank you.
Good, Chair Matthews, and I'm guessing I can go right to Lee, right, Dr. Welch? While Lee Gardner is getting situated at the podium, I'd just remind trustees about the Michigan New Jobs Training Program, MNJTP, something LCC's been a big participant in. The largest change that requires us coming before you is really a name change, right? We know the battery plant out by the GM plant was originally Ultium cells. The entity now that we are doing the training for is called LG Energy Solution. You've been reading about them. From my understanding, the training is very similar, but I'm very happy to have Lee Gardner explain what that training is. But before he did, I just wanted to say, we're here before you because the state said we needed to redo this agreement because of the name change. So if I could, Lee, you can tell us about the training.
Yes, great question. First, I'd like to say we don't necessarily know the answer to that question right now. We haven't even really gotten into the door to talk to them and get started. This agreement was really necessary to start that process. What we do know, though, is they are interested in training not just for their skilled workforce that's going to be working on the manufacturing floor, but also for the administration at LG Energy Solution. So we know they want everything from Excel to, we're hoping potentially in our early discussions, leadership training to help progress people even within the institution. But they're also interested in specific skill-based training that would be customized to them and to their equipment. So what's nice about the training that we're able to provide them, we're able to go into their facility and train on their own machines with their own people. So it really helps them in that way as well. So panel building, program logical controllers, I believe I said that correct. But a lot of those trainings are ones that we have offered in the Job Training Center for pre-employment, helping the pipeline with LG Energy Solution. And they're hoping to kind of leverage a very similar training platform for their existing employees as well. Absolutely.
Matthew, if I could add one larger regional economic development layer to this, and I've talked to Lee and my counterparts at LEAP. Just like Director Krokenberg talked about the tool set that maybe was 10 years old to one now, the fact that they're just building out the technology inside the new battery plant has this very interesting upside that it will be the newest, most current technology that of all the other battery plants that got set up a few years ago. So even though we don't know what the training is, we know it'll be some of the most cutting edge training that is going on in any battery factory across the country. Just something interesting about the little hiccup between Ultium and LG. And in my work with the executive committee of LEAP, a lot of folks are really impressed with the folks from LG Energy Solution. I know you've had some interaction with them. This will be a really positive training environment for LCC.
Further questions? Discussion? Thank you, Lou. Appreciate it. Ms. Duncan, will you call the roll?
Terrence Frazier,
Aye.
Hope LaBelle,
Aye.
Noel Garcia, Robert Proctor.
Aye.
Angela Mathis, Chatham Taylor.
Aye.
Shonda Thomas. Motion carried.
Thank you. Moving on to trustee generated idea and initiatives. A, laptop lending program expansion update.
Chair Matthews, I'm delighted to tell you that on page 67, starting with the cover sheet on 66, there's an update for the board on the laptop lending program. Making some good progress. If there are questions, the appropriate folks are here, but basically the trio purchase is complete. We're looking at July for the West Campus and August for the potential for staff to work with the distribution of those. So anything to add, Dr. Welch?
I just found out today that we actually put the purchase order in for the West Campus computers, so it should be arriving sometime this summer.
Awesome. Thank you. I don't have any questions. Thank you for the work that you're doing and for expediting the need for our students. And we heard that this is something that's important and that it is working and it is needful. And so just making it available to our students as soon as possible is greatly appreciated. So thank you. B, visitor access update.
Thank you, Chair Matthews. And to your point you just made about laptop lending, I forgot to say that our community college student speaker talked to us this evening about how important that was. So very good. On page 68 and through 70, trustees, you have before you an update on the visitor access update. You take a look at the grid that is on page 70. You see that all but 2 are completed, and items 2, adding instructional signage and upgrading existing call boxes, have completion dates that are very, very close, April 30th. And I noticed when I came into work this morning that this building's been completed. The box is there and the sign is there. So I know that Chris McCursey, Dr. Samuel are able to answer any questions, but we're pretty close to finished with the punch list on the visitor access improvements. Any questions?
Thank you so much, because I kind of have a secret, but I actually went to kind of see it before I got here, because I noticed that the video intercom was completed and the star card required for entry was. So I just wanted to go see, and I pushed the button, and then they did answer. So it was really cool, seriously. And I let them know, like, I'm just here, they were like, I see you. So I could see the camera right there, and so it was amazing. So I'm just excited about it, and the dates that literally, like, at the end of this month would be completed. So thank you guys so much.
Moving on to monthly monitoring reports. Dr. Robinson.
Thank you, Chair Matthews. The monthly financial statements are in the packet, and I have made the mistake of not calling on Don for this. Are there comments that you have about the monthly financials?
Probably the most important comments are: 1, college is doing fine this year financially. 2 strong reasons: 1, enrollment increase, and also the interest rates from the Federal Reserve System are not declining as much as we thought they would, which is why we're financial people and not economists, I guess. So, but we are doing well this year, and we'll have a good final year result.
Any questions? Trustee Proctor? And trustee comment.
Mr. CFO, you may not be able to answer this question. I got a couple coming, and I'm going back to where I was a few months ago, but let me direct your attention to page 73, Exhibit B, line 7. And my question is, has there been a reduction in the training provided to employees, given that we're 9 percentage points behind the prior year's pace of expenses?
It's kind of funny you should ask that question, because I and several members of my staff met with Lee Gardner last week to talk just in general about what's going on currently in his division. And he did indicate that there has been a slowdown in some of the trainings. As far as specifics, I would have to defer to Lee on that, but yes, there has been some slowdown.
Anyone have a crystal ball as to what the next 6 to 18 months, 24 months might bring? May find my other area. It's the office of whatever we call it now. It used to be, what was it? Empowerment. Now it's 20% behind the projected expenses from last year. And I've asked this question several times. What are we not getting done that we allocated money to get done?
Good, Chair Matthews. So our interim chief diversity officer, Tanya McLean, is here this evening. She and I just had a meeting about this. The 20 percentage points is largely driven by open positions. From my perspective, the way you asked the question, Trustee Proctor, and actually, CDO McLean, could you come up to the podium? Because I want to make sure that I don't talk for you. But from our last meeting, I would not say that there is training or activity at the college that we set out to do that we haven't done. We have scaled back some of our plans, but in literal answer to your question, we haven't gone without doing some of the activities. In fact, we're starting to ramp some of them up, and the 20 percentage point lag largely has to do with open positions. Feel free to add to that or say something different, CDO McLean.
That's exactly right. We have not filled 3 of the positions right now, which would bring us down quite a bit on the monies, but we are still serving our students. We have actually increased some of our programming for this year. And I think you'll see that we haven't gone down at all in our programming.
And if I could add, because you might be being modest, CDO McLean. So Tanya just came back from the national meeting of chief diversity officers, comparing notes with her counterparts about what's happening at other colleges. There's a lot of caution in this area across the country. And so a lot of the work that we're doing together and that she's doing as the leader of the division is moving forward intentionally to make sure that when we do fill positions, we're doing it the right way. And I don't know if you would like to share with the board any of those learnings that you shared with me coming back from the national meeting, particularly as it relates to the board support and even the financial support for empowerment type work that we have at LCC that you don't see everywhere else.
Absolutely. It was really enlightening to see how much support we have here from the board and the president and the rest of the college. Many of the individuals that showed up at that event said they did not have that. Many people had lost their positions. So we're seeing a decline everywhere else, but we are still doing the same job that we were doing before for all of our students. One of the things that I'm really proud of is that our programming for some of the programs have included, let's say the MAP program, which was for, Men About Progress. If you come to that program, you'll see not just men coming in, but it's very supported by women and almost every ethnicity. And we're seeing our whole area grow, the number of students. We spent a lot of time last year just planning what we were going to do for this year. And now we are implementing that. And since January, we've seen an increase. We've got students in the office where we didn't see as many students last year because of everything that was happening. They're coming in now. They're bringing their friends in. They're telling everyone what's happening. We had mentors come in to speak to the students. And that's been not just internally, but our advisory teams are coming in and sending us very complimentary letters because they can see what we're doing and they're proud that we're continuing to do what we've done before, which is make sure that all of our students are successful.
If I may, Madam Chair,
Yes.
this may be difficult question for you to answer. Given what I understand to have been the Department of Education's withdrawal of its lawsuit, do you expect things to improve going forward with regard to any initiatives on what's called DEI? Or are institutions still quavering, or whatever term I want to use, fearful of even talking about such subject matter?
Well, I'm going to Nadahi, hearing what has changed, that we've had that dear colleague letter pulled back. A crystal ball would be really great at this time to see what really will happen. I mean, we're not just seeing things happening with DEI, but we're also seeing, some decisions being made for colleges as a whole. So we're seeing that affect us overall, but we're still doing what we need to for our students. And I think that's what's most important. If we look at our mission, it's to make sure that our students are successful, that they're global students. And we're making sure that in our office, we are giving them the opportunity through our taste of culture to really have a taste of the cultures. So they're not just going out and graduating and we're saying that they're going to be global students, but they're really having that opportunity to meet other cultures in our area. And that's been a big focus of ours. And I think that's been a draw as well for the students coming in. Not only our students, but our staff and faculty are coming in as well. We had a sociology class come in and spend their time with us in the Office of Empowerment last week. We've got a genocide class coming in. Well, not class, but classmates coming in to talk about genocide. We've got some individuals coming in from the outside to have that conversation. We also have some individuals coming in for new Americans to see what they need when they're coming to Lansing, to make sure that they have everything they need for schooling, that they're getting information on careers. So we're not just working internally, but we're working externally. And I think that we're moving things along in the Office of Empowerment, not just for LCC, but for Lansing and working with other colleges as well. So we're making strides where we have that 20%. We didn't want to fill positions just to fill them. We wanted to make sure that we were filling them appropriately, that we were being fiscally smart and what we're doing. So you're seeing just that transfer from last year planning to now implementing. And I think you'll see more of that being spent this year.
Thank you.
Trustee Thomas.
Okay, so the only concern I have when I see big percentage gaps is that if our staff is feeling the weight of it, or, and I know you guys are running it smoothly, and just across the board though. That's my only, when I see that, it's like, I hope one person isn't feeling the weight of all of that. Two, I said it before, and I want to thank our president again for not jumping out prematurely when so many just took off and started firing, and it was just a mess. And I'm glad that you were creative instead of premature with that. And also, I want to thank you for the invite. I had the honor of being a mentor last Tuesday with the Empowerment Department, and just hanging out with the students was just wonderful. I love that little spot. Okay, I'm like, I'm gonna have to come and hang out here more. Not that they want me to, but it was great. And I know you've already started a great work, and I know under your leadership that you're gonna do so much more. So I'm excited to see, as you told Proctor, what's to come. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. The students really enjoyed having you there.
If I could, Chair Matthews, I'd just like to, thank you, Trustee Thomas, for those remarks and for serving as a mentor in the center last week. I do want to just share, not to prolong the conversation, but, Chief Diversity Officer McLean invited me to come meet with her team. And I want to let the board know this. I had the opportunity to tell that team the kind of strong support that the trustees have for their work. And I can say from, I get regular updates from our interim CDO, but I've also been on the ground talking to those employees, and it is not my impression that like only a few of them are doing the work of a large number of people. It is a department that it's a small but mighty team. They get a lot done, but I don't see burnout or work-life balance problems. And a lot of what interim CDO McLean and I are working through is the design of her predecessor, right? And seeing if it fits where we are right now. And then I would finish by saying that no, we didn't rush out and make changes. We measured twice and cut once, and that I obviously wrote about that, but that was a group strategy that involved the folks in the department. And we're proud of the fact that we've lived out our values through all these ups and downs. So thank you for recognizing that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next. Chairman?
Next, yeah.
Okay, great. And thanks for, and I will say, before we leave the monthly financial statements in that the last time CDO McLean and I were working on her budget and the organizational plans, I said, the trustees watch these budgets, this is good. It is really, this is the monthly financials at work. So trustees, item B in your report is the monthly police department report. This is a transparent document that shows the transactions that our law enforcement officers have with the community. It's there for your review, and I did see that the chief is here if you had any questions.
Fine.
So while the chair is looking for what she's finding, I'll say what I always say. To me, this is a national model in transparency in law enforcement. It's something that we can be proud of. It's something that we've been accredited for. And, policing is in the news a lot. And we're proud to have excellent leadership in the police department. And we're proud of the transparency we have. Chair Matthews, it's on page 104, 103, 104.
All right, thank you. I only have one question. And that was regarding, there was an arrest that was made. Let's see, number 4, thank you.
103.
Okay, on 103, number 4. Okay,
Okay, sorry, what number?
it was on page 103, contact 4.
Right.
And it says that the person had a couple of warrants.
Yes, ma'am.
And so when that happens, you contact, was that City of Lansing or some other agency? Where
Where
they?
the warrants were out of?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm. Okay.
yeah. And that
And-
call came into dispatch.
Okay, and they come and get the individual, right? We don't transport or do
We
anything?
do transport, but
Oh.
they pick up from the jail.
Oh, okay. Okay, and that person was around, they weren't, they was just, as your officers were patrolling and stopped the person or whatever. So it wasn't on campus or anything, but it was just somewhere around here.
Right, it wasn't in on view. The officers didn't observe anything. They got a call from dispatch that
Mhm.
there was a person that had open warrants. So somebody was familiar with that person and they called.
Okay.
They called it in.
They were on campus?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, that was it. I just was curious.
Thank you, Chief.
Oh, Trustee Thomas.
I'm trying to see how to put this. I've looked it over and I seen the littering. And I'm like, now, are we, okay.
So picture a person driving down the street and taking trash out.
Okay. All right.
One
I'm
more,
like,
number
what did
7,
they
I'm sorry.
throw out the window, like.
Abandoned vehicle in the ramp, so we had the car towed.
Yeah, so the process. It's collected warning, citation, that particular case, the owner we actually spoke to him, he said. Got it. The vehicle had been sitting for upward of 2 weeks.
In more than 2 weeks?
Close to 2 weeks.
Close, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all.
All right.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. You and your department are doing very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chair Matthews, I believe that completes the administrative reports.
All right, next on the agenda is the policy department, policy development, Dr. Proctor and Trustee Taylor.
You want to go? I spoke so much last time, so.
I guess, we have our new, for first read board bylaw 1.4, meeting of the board, which contains, basically organizational meeting, regular meetings and special meetings notices. And then also, board bylaw 1.5, meeting procedures, which is outlining the agenda for regular meetings, order of business, and agenda for special meetings. So again, this is just a first read. Are there any questions?
I don't have any questions, but I did look at the meeting procedures, and I would just suggest to my colleagues to read that because there were some changes. There were some changes with regarding to the order of the agenda, not anything that was, very, difficult, so to speak, but there's a lot of changes in there. So just be sure to read over those 2 particular bylaws so that when we come next month, we will be ready to vote on those. Trustee Proctor.
Madam Chair, let me apologize to the members of the policy committee because I have some word changes that I didn't share with them, but in my review and preparation for this meeting, I went through carefully. So bear with me because this may be tough to follow. And I wrote it out to see if I could help. At page 110, under policy proposal 1.4.40, special meetings notice, after in the first full paragraph at the line starting, quote, stating the date, time, and place, etc. Insert a period after the word meeting. Insert the following language after the period. Such posting shall be made, and after that, striking the words shall be posted. Don't know if you follow me. So I can go over it again.
Which one is it?
It's 1.4 on page 110, 1.4.40. And it's this. In the first full paragraph, at the line starting, the following language, stating the date, time, and place, etc. Insert a period after the word meeting. Following the period, insert the following verbiage or words. Such posting shall be made. Striking be posted. And the Rest of that sentence would read at least 18 hours before the meeting. That's that. Everybody follow? Probably not. At page 112. This one's easy. Under the new language, which is in red under 1.4.60, it's what is now the second paragraph after the deletion of the paragraph above. It's striking at line 4 the word under. And that's it.
Assigned to the Americans with Disability Act, so on and so forth. That word right there under, is that what you're talking about?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So we are going to, I'm sorry, Trustee Lavelle.
On page 115, I believe it's just a typo for the spelling of regular in section 1.5.10, agenda for regular meeting.
115, that's the cover sheet.
Talking about the cover sheet? No, I'm just saying the spelling of the word regular is irregular.
It's not part of the, you're right, but this is the cover sheet. It's not the policy proposal.
Okay,
Good catch.
okay, sounds good. Just a regular thing.
There's a typo in the cover sheet, not in the proposal.
Are there any other comments? Any other comment? Okay. Hearing and seeing none, we're going to move down to linkage planning implementation, the chair's report. On March 26th, at the Equal Pay Day event, which was absolutely awesome and amazing. Thank you, Dr. Samuels and your team. Did a wonderful job. I had the opportunity to introduce Paula Cunningham, who is president of AARP, but she also was the first African-American woman to be president of Lansing Community College, and she gave some great and encouraging remarks. Our trustee Taylor was there at the same event, and she did a warm and funny and beautiful welcome. So that was good. So we were representing the board at that meeting, at that event, March 27th, at Corrections Academy. I was very honored to give the welcome at that particular academy. I've been on this board for a decade, and that has never happened. So I was greatly appreciative of Tamara, who extended that invitation for me to do the welcome. And it was well attended by family and friends. Of course, our Capital City Day, Capital Day was amazing. Lance was the true star of that particular event. Everybody was looking, because the thing was, I don't remember seeing LCC had a mascot last year. Well, we got one now. And so Lance was everyone's favorite and took probably the most pictures out of any of the mascots that were there. And they were still looking for him. And we tired poor Lance out so much that they were patting their stomach, and it was like, I need to eat. Like, we need to go eat. And we was like, no, we need more pictures. So we appreciate the athletic mascot being at that event. Also, Grand Ledge Finance and Development Authority, they did not have a quorum to conduct a meeting, so that is being rescheduled for another date. And I just want to say that Wednesday, April 27 is Administrative Professionals Day. So those persons who keep the key people going and flowing and in order, thank you so much. And I'm putting on blast, the bosses better be doing something for you. All right, that includes us too. That's us too. So, colleagues, on page 122, you have a resolution honoring the turning point of Lansing. I was contacted and asked if this is their 20th year celebration. They have been connected to Lansing Community College. They have been doing great work with the mentorship program for their young men, the young African-American men in the community. And it's just a very heartfelt and endearing celebration for them to do that, going from boys to men and being recognized as such. And LCC, thank you for being instrumental in that and that you support that program. And so this is the resolution. I'm not going to read it all. You can read it for yourself, but that's what you have on page 122. And I'm hoping that we will take a vote on it and that we will pass this resolution honoring the Turning Point of Lansing program. This is going to go in their program on that celebration day. And so that's why the resolution is in our packet. Yes, sir.
Madam Chair, I move that the resolution be adopted.
Excellent. Thank you. It's been moved by Trustee Proctor, second by Vice Chair Frazier, that we adopt this resolution honoring the Turning Point of Lansing program. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Duncan, will you call the roll?
Shonda Thomas. Aye. Noel Garcia.
Aye.
Chatham Taylor. Aye. Hope LaBelle.
Aye.
Terrence Frazier.
Aye.
Robert Proctor. Angela Matthews.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you so much. Moving on to board members' report for the foundation board report, Vice Chair Frazier and/or Trustee Garcia.
Thank you, Chair Matthews. And thank you, Director Zell, for the notes. We had, over the last month, the foundation had two matching gifts, 10,000 from Ernst and Young, 8,100 from Jackson National Life. Jackson National Life has also, again, will be sponsoring our popular fall kickoff and Party with the Prez, along with the presenting sponsor of that event, Case Credit Union. Start day of giving was last week. We had 88 donors and it yielded $9,000. It's not too late, though, to donate for a Star Day of Giving. All you have to do is Google search LCC Star Day of Giving, and that's still open for receiving donations. And then also, she was already introduced, Audrey Rodriguez has started as the new Scholarship and Operations Specialist for the foundation. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving on, unfinished business, seeing and hearing there's none. Moving on to new business, seeing and, oh, sorry, Trustee Proctor.
Madam Chair, there was no audit committee meeting this month. However, there was a meeting of the finance staff, budget staff with our internal auditors, Raymond. And it was an audit review, and I don't think there's anything I need to add, Mr. Wilski, other than it was talking about the programming going forward with the preparation of the audit.
Yeah, that's our standard meeting before the audit, external audit begins, is to sit down, go through the timeline, what the expectations are, so that we get the report to the audit committee, to the full board, according to our standard timeline.
Thank you. Moving on to new business, seeing and hearing none. Moving on to public comment. At this point, we have,
Melissa Kaplan.
okay. So are both persons online? Okay. So we have two people that have signed up for public comment. Please, ma'am, please, sir. 3 minutes is the maximum amount of time, the limit. And if you would, state your name so that we can recognize, so that that can get on the record. We'll do Melissa first, and then we will do the in-person person that's here.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chairperson, trustees, Dr. Robinson, and colleagues. I'm Melissa Kaplan. I'm the Arts Outreach and Academic Coordinator in the Arts and Sciences Division. It was wonderful to have our digital media students recognized for their award-winning achievements by you, Dr. Robinson. Thank you. And I want to share one other additional accomplishment that some of those students and others just received this past week. Our film club won an Audience Choice Award at the Capital City Film Festival in the Fortnight Film Competition. That's a challenge to teams to produce a film in 2 weeks. And the LCC Film Club was one of 12 finalists, and then they shared the Audience Achievement Award. So great things happening in the digital media program. And great things are always happening across campus. So here's a sampling of the Arts and Sciences Division events coming up at the end of this semester. This week on Wednesday, we have 2 different events. A panel discussion about genocide led by anthropology and sociology faculty Eliza Robeson and Rob Brzezinski. That'll be Wednesday afternoon, and that's in collaboration with the Office of Empowerment. And then in the evening, the LCC Historians at the Movies is collaborating with Lansing Pride for our annual in-person Film and Dart Auditorium showing the film from 1999, But I'm a Cheerleader. Next week is Starscapes, the Student Innovation and Creativity Showcase that takes place at the end of every fall and spring semester, open to students all across the college. But this semester, we've expanded locations. Now, instead of just 2 days downtown, will be 2 days at West Campus on Monday and Tuesday, and 2 days downtown on Wednesday and Thursday. So 4 days of Starscapes. Stop by if you have a chance, either campus, both campuses, and you'll see some really interesting and wonderful projects that our students have been working on this semester. Then finally, wrapping up the semester, a slew of music and theater performances. This Saturday, a repeat invitation for our jazz band to play at the Thornapple Arts Council Jazz Festival in Hastings. Next Saturday, concert choir in Dart. The following day, Sunday, May 3rd, rock band at the Avenue. May 8th and 9th, the theater is presenting the Meta Plays in the Black Box Theater. And finally, the multi-instrumental ensemble will be in Dart on May 9th. I will get a complete list of dates and locations and times to Benita to share with you. And as always, with great appreciation, thank you very much for your support of the arts at LCC.
Thank you, Melissa. We appreciate you keeping us abreast of what's going on, which is a lot, but thank you.
Certainly. Thank you.
And the person who's here, okay, state your name, please.
My name is Melissa Farley, and I am here for the second month in a row to speak to the board. As you know, last time I stated that there was an Office for Civil Rights investigation concerning the failure of this college to award me my nursing degree over a 0.07 percentage point grade that was produced in a testing environment that was not ADA compliant. As of yesterday, LCC, this board, has failed to rectify this situation, and the OCR's 60-day cure window expired. I have now refiled with the OCR, and I wanted to remind this board and this college, who speaks so much about community, that I was a state tuition paid student for 5 years future for frontliners, Michigan Reconnect. I am currently an LPN candidate who is being sponsored by Michigan Works, which is one of your workforce organizations partnerships, and they are wondering why you are denying my associate's degree when we are in a current nursing shortage. Your director of nursing is under investigation by Laura. You will be under investigation by the Office for Civil Rights. All I am asking for is the degree that I earned that is being withheld, and the retaliation from this college is ridiculous. Your risk management department sends 7 p.m. gag emails to students. And this individual is not a licensed attorney in the state of Michigan. Unauthorized practice of law. This grading issue being unfixed is arbitrary and capricious. The test result that this is being based on is, once again, the fruit of the poisonous tree. And here I am again, asking for you, after you talk about the wonderful things that happen here, which they do. I got a computer when I needed it from the lending program. I used the food bank when I needed it. And now I want my degree so I can satisfy the state of Michigan, become a productive member of this community. And I'm asking for you to make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Moving on to board comments. Trustee Thomas, and then Trustee Garcia,
Well,
Vice Chair Frazier.
piggybacking off the Lance comment, AKA Lansing, I have wanted a mascot for about 5 years since I went to the first MCCA Capital Day, and I was so proud, okay, very proud to have Lance standing there looking excellent, okay? And so thank you, guys. That is a great way to go into my 6th year. I'm very excited about it, and I can't wait to see him at sporting events or just events in general. I think it's a necessity. Call me childish or whatever. I love it, okay? So, and then I was able to go to the Tech Board Men of Color event. It was a great event. It was so nice to see our students enjoying them. Well, not our students, but students, period. I have a habit of calling people my babies or my students. So just to see them enjoying themselves, the young Black men and just the men, of course, men in progress, enjoying themselves. They really enjoyed. Our speaker, Mr. Duckett, did an excellent job. When you get students to say thank you, just thank you, that's an awesome compliment. So I appreciate the work that went on. Dr. Dwyer, thank you for your work, Dean Dwyer, and everyone else that was in place that day. So much going on, so many activities, so much excitement, visiting so many different programs. And I just know there was many sparks. I was sparked from the speech and from just being in the environment. So thank you guys for your work and for such an awesome time.
Trustee Thomas, Trustee Garcia.
Yes, this will be quick. As many of you know, I'm work at the Wilson Talent Center Criminal Justice Program. I'm a law enforcement instructor. And tomorrow is a big day for our students, our 40 students. We have mock interviews. They're like mock pre-employment interviews. We've got 20 representatives from mid-Michigan agencies across mid-Michigan, from the rank of 911 dispatcher to deputy officer, all the way up to chief of police. I just want to take this moment to thank Chief Gaines, who's also bringing Deputy Chief Tim Davis tomorrow to help our students. Thank you for thinking of our students and recruiting our students, because we talked a lot about recruiting tonight in the aviation program and archaeology, and there's a lot of great future police officers out there too, Chief. So thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Garcia. Vice Chair Frazier.
Well, first I want to say it's been a great day, a Monday, beautiful day outside. We're gonna get out of here before it gets dark. But I want to say thank you first for the honoring that we did, the Excellence, the STAR event, honoring our staff that we were at that event the other day. So it's wonderful to see the great awards that were given out. So congratulations to our awardees. And I also went to the Men and STEM event, a Men of Color and STEM event, and I got to participate. And I want to show off a couple of my things. So I think I have a new tool here.
He's so proud.
I'm so proud. You just said your little thing. So this is my Star Angel. So that I got to make when I was in there. So we got to do some things. But also I got to do some welding. So I mean, this was just a great opportunity to do some things here at the event. But thank you, Dean. Appreciate it. They thought I wasn't going to show off my. I'm proud of what I do. I'm like, okay, I'll hang it on the refrigerator. But more importantly, I had the opportunity to talk to a couple students there that wasn't sure what they were going to do with their life, and they were inspired, and they're looking to come to LCC. One of the gentlemen, he just had a baby, 5 months old. He quit school at 12th grade, and we was able to connect him to our programs to get his GED and get ready to come into LCC because the resources right there at the table at his fingertips. And that's so important what we do when we do these events and we have fun and joke around, but we really get to know who our students are in our community. And that's the thing I think that we're inspiring people. And then also we was even inspired to get some scholarship money that's coming in too. Yeah. So some things are coming down our way because we are there in the community and inviting people in. So I just want to say, let's continue to do the great work and make our community a better place. So, and I'll be welding anytime, anybody needs some welding done or some building, just hit me up. I got y'all. Thank you.
Let me see that angel again. What does that look like?
If you squint to see it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Is that the front back? I don't know. With the wings? I don't know.
All right, like Nicole did. All right, it's my art. You can't.
In peace. Okay. Not to do it again. All right. Trustee Thomas.
Yeah, we were conversating on it. I told him not to bring it, but I see he don't listen. Okay. I wanted to mention too that some of the students went away with some drones. I was trying to get one myself, but and they were so excited. So not only scholarship, but drones too. Great events.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Don, good to see you in person. Good to see you. One day, crystal ball that's going to be sitting on that desk. One day. Two things real quick. I want to piggyback on Vice Chair Frazier with regards to our college, helping students to find their footing and to move forward in their careers. Dr. Robinson is excellent with connecting students to the departments or the persons that they need in order to move further with applications or anything like that. So I just wanted to thank you because there was a community student, a young lady that I had mentored, and she was in a bad situation, trying to come out of it, and want to go to school for nursing, I do believe. She asked me some questions, and so I filled those to Dr. Robinson and got out of the way. And she called me about a week ago, and she was very excited and ecstatic and said that Dr. Robinson got her to the right person, and she was just really happy and excited that she's going to be attending LCC in the very near future. And so I just want to thank you and give you a hand clap. Very judiciously on things when they come to you. And so that's appreciated. And there's a lot of times when students will contact us and we abide by our rules and governance, and we just pass that along, and then Dr. Robinson and his team, you make it happen, and you make it so that the students are not embarrassed to come here, that they feel welcomed, and that was a word, she said she felt welcomed. And so I just want to thank all of you for what you do to make this college blossom. I just wanted to come back to something that we glossed over, and thinking that LCC does what it does and we do this, and so we deserve all these awards for that 17th, report. The governance, the GFOA, the Government Finance Officers Association. That reporting, it was our 17th time. That means our stuff is in order. And that means you do the work so that the stuff is in order. And so you should be proud of that particular report that came out. And like you say, the time that we do not receive a certification, yeah, I'm gonna move on from that. I digress. So much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any other comments, board comments? All right, moving on, no closed session. And is there a motion to adjourn? Oh, I'm sorry, before we do that. My board planning calendar is very full, very, very full. So trustees, make sure that you pay attention to this. We've got a lot of graduations and ceremonies that are coming up, a lot. And I want to thank, I do believe it was the, I don't know if it's dental hygiene or nursing, how it's kind of, they're not all on the same day. Because, in the past, all of them were on the same day, and we were missing graduations, and we just couldn't get there. So thank you so much for, spacing them out so that we can be and attend as many as we possibly can. So thank you so much. All right, now I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Thank you, Vice Chair Frazier. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Lavelle. It has been moved by Trustee Frazier, second by Trustee Lavelle, that we will adjourn. Any discussion? Ms. Duncan, call the roll.
Hope Lavelle,
Aye.
Angela Matthews.
Yes.
Terrence Frazier.
Aye.
Noel Garcia.
Aye.
Robert Proctor.
Aye.
Shonda Thomas. Chatham Taylor.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion carried. We adjourn. Thank you. There's still delicious treats back there, ladies and gentlemen.